You're listening to Stream, the podcast that tells you what streaming on platform for subscription, rent, or buy. I'm going to talk about movies coming out on August the 11th, 2020. Now I'm going to start off by telling you that the new TV series Are You Afraid of the Dark, not the old one but the newer one on Nickelodeon, has started. And it has 100% on the average tomato meter. Now, I want to also tell you about 3 other TV shows. Gold Digger Season 1 is streaming on Acorn TV, Amazon, 6 episodes. And also 6 episodes on Acorn TV. Or you could buy the first season on Apple iTunes, Amazon Video, and Vudu. The second one, NCIS New Orleans, Season 6, is streaming on 9 episodes on Fubo, 18 episodes on DirecTV, and 20 episodes on the CBS app. Or you can buy them on Apple iTunes, Amazon Video, Fandango Now, Vudu, 20 episodes on Microsoft Store, and 20 episodes on Google Play. The third one is The Blacklist. And I forgot to say, I don't know if I forgot to say, but New Orleans is the 6th season, and The Blacklist, the 7th season, is streaming 7 episodes on Fubo, 1 episode on Prime Video, 5 episodes on NBC, 5 episodes on Peacock, 12 episodes on DirecTV. Or you can buy it on Apple iTunes, Amazon Video, Fandango Now, Vudu, 19 episodes on Microsoft Store, and 19 episodes on Google Play. Now for the movies. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, the first one, Valley of the Gods, no tomato meter and no audience score. This multifaceted drama entwines the story of a rich tycoon, one of his employees, and the Navajo Indian lore. The movie follows the magnitude of the Navajo Indian legends and the eccentricities of the rich tycoon who plans to mine uranium on a secret Navajo site. A complex association forms between a tycoon and an employee he has utilized to write his biography, and, as the story continues, the difference between the ancient world of Navajo mythology and the modern high-tech world emerges. A large cast of Navajo Indians and one of the locations in Mexican Hat, Utah, adds to the credibility of the plot. Now, it's rated NR, it's a drama, directed by Lech Majewski, written by Lech Majewski, and it's 131 minutes long. Some of the cast has got Josh Hartnett, John Rhys Davies, John Malkovich, James Ray Newman, and Bernice Marlowe. In this one you could find for rent, DirecTV, or you can rent or buy it on Vudu, Microsoft Store, Redbox, or Apple iTunes. Alright, next one, G-Loc, L-O-C. Passing through the gate, Brand Marshall is one of thousands of Earthlings whose lives are at stake after finding out that the human settlers of Ray will not take any more refugees from Earth. Brand must confront Asha Rayner and her ship. It's rated PG-13 for violence and some strong language. It's an action-adventure, sci-fi, and fantasy. Directed by Tom Patton, written by Tom Patton, 93 minutes long by Grindstone Entertainment. Some of the cast have got Toby Osmond, Tala Gavia, Stephen Moyer, John Rhys Davies, Emily Hay, and Casper Van Dien. This one you could find streaming for rent or buy on Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Redbox, Apple iTunes, Fandango Now, Vudu, Microsoft, or you can just rent it on DirecTV and FlixFling. Alright, next one is I Am Vengeance Retaliation. This was a 44% on Tomato Meter, it's a 62% audience score. Former WWE wrestler Stu Bennett stars as ex-Special Forces soldier John Gold in this action-packed sequel to I Am Vengeance. When he's given the chance to retrieve Shawn Teague, the man who betrayed Gold's team on their final mission in Eastern Europe, and transport him to a military prison, Gold, who'd rather kill Teague, is reluctant. But when a government operative promises to expose the crimes that have forced Gold into a life on the run, Gold agrees and prepares for the fight of his life against Teague's band of mercenaries and a mysterious sniper. It is rated R for violence and language throughout. It's an action-adventure, mystery suspense, directed by Ross Boyask, written by Ross Boyask. It's 90 minutes long by Saban Films. Some of the cast is Lee Charles, Katrina Durden, Jessica Jane Stafford, Vinnie Jones, and Stu Bennett. This one's for rent on FlixFling or rent or buy on Redbox, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, Microsoft, DirecTV, Apple iTunes, and Amazon. Now, the high note, 69% on Tomato Meter, 75% audience score. Set in the dazzling world of the LA music scene comes the story of Grace Davis, a superstar whose talent and ego have reached unbelievable heights. Maggie is Grace's overworked personal assistant who's stuck running errands, but still aspires to her childhood dream of becoming a music producer. When Grace's manager presents her with a choice that could alter the course of her career, Maggie and Grace come up with a plan that could change their lives forever. It's rated PG-13 for some strong language and suggestive references. It's a drama, musical, performing arts, romance. Directed by Nisha Ganatra. Written by Flora Greason. It's 113 minutes long by Focus Features. Some of the cast is Eddie Izzard, Zoe Chow. It's got Ice Cube as Jack Robertson, Kelvin Harrison Jr. as David Cliff, Tracy Ellis Ross as Grace Davis, and Dakota Johnson as Maggie Sherwood. This one is for rent on FlixFling, or you can rent or buy it on Apple iTunes, Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, Microsoft Store, Redbox, and DirecTV. Now, Archive. 74% on Tomato Meter, no audience score yet. 2038. 2.5 years into a 3-year research contract, George Almore is on the verge of a breakthrough. Stationed halfway up a snow-capped mountain near Kyoto at a secret facility codenamed The Garden, he has been working on a model that is a true human equivalent android. His prototype is almost complete, but this most sensitive phase of his work is also the riskiest, especially as George has an alternative motive for his work that must be hidden at all costs, being reunited with his dead wife, Jules. It's rated NR. It is a science fiction and fantasy directed by Gavin Rothery, written by Gavin Rothery. It's 109 minutes long, independent. Some of the cast is Richard Glover as Melvin, Peter Fernando, Stacey Martin, Toby Jones, Theo James, and Rhoda Mitra. It is for rent on DirecTV, or you can rent or buy it on Apple iTunes, Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, Microsoft Store, and Redbox. The next one is called The Wretched. 75% on Tomato Meter, 44% on the audience score. Following his parents' separation, a rebellious teenage boy, Ben, is sent to live with his father for the summer and work at the local marina in order to gain some form of discipline. The idyllic tourist town offers little solace for him, however, as he is forced to deal with the local privileged teens and his father's new girlfriend. Ben's problems grow increasingly disturbing when he makes a chilling discovery about the family renting the house next door. A malevolent spirit from the woods has taken a hold of the parents and starts playing a sinister game of house, preying upon the children and wiping away any trace of their existence. Ben's suspicions of the supernatural horrors go unheeded, and he launches a perilous crusade in order to put an end to the skin-walking witch's reign of terror. Chilling and suspenseful, the Wretched offers a modern update to the retro young hero's mission like that of the Goonies, and promises to make viewers wary of every dark corner they encounter after witnessing its terrifying tale. This rating is NR. It's a horror, directed by Brett Pierce and Drew T. Pierce, written by Brett Pierce and Drew T. Pierce, 96 minutes long by IFC Midnight. Some of the cast is Kevin Bigley as Ty, Zara Mahler as Abby, Azzy Tesfaye as Sarah, Jameson Jones as Liam, Piper Curda as Mallory, and John Paul Howard as Ben. And this one is streaming on Hulu, or you can rent it on Microsoft Store, Apple iTunes, and DirecTV, or you can rent or buy it on Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, and Vudu. How to Build a Girl. 80% on Tomato Meter, no audience score. Joanna Morrigan is a bright, quirky 60-year-old who uses her colorful imagination to regularly escape her humdrum life in Wolverhampton and live out her creative fantasies. Desperate to break free from the overcrowded flat she shares with her 4 brothers and eccentric parents, she submits an earnestly penned and offbeat music review to a group of self-important indie rock critics at a weekly magazine. Despite being brushed off initially, Joanna clambers to the top of the 90s rock music scene by reinventing herself as Dolly Wilde, a venerable, impossible-to-please music critic with an insatiable lust for fame, fortune, and men. It isn't long before the rapid pace at which Joanna's life is changing becomes overwhelming as she runs face first into a devastatingly real existential crisis. Is this the type of girl she wants to become? Or does she need to start over or build again from the ground up? Based on the best-selling novel by Caitlin Moran, How to Build a Girl is a sassy, sexy, and profoundly touching coming-of-age comedy that traces the rocky road to womanhood through the lens of a unique and wildly hilarious protagonist. Its rating is R for sexual content, language throughout, and some teen drinking. It's a comedy, directed by Koki Guidrokes, written by Caitlin Moran. It's 102 minutes long by IFC Films. Some of the cast is Laurie Kynaston, Sarah Silmani, Emma Thompson, Patty Considine. Then it's got Alfie Allen as John Kite and Beanie Feldstein as Joanna Morrigan. And this one is for rent on Microsoft Store or DirecTV, or it's for rent or buy on Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, and Vudu and Apple iTunes. Sorry about that. And the last one, Max Reload and the Nether Blasters. It's 86% on Tomato Meter, and no audience score. With small-town video game clerk Max Jenkins discovers and plays the only known copy of Nether Dungeon, the legendary lost installment of the Nether game series, he accidentally unleashes the ancient Curse of the Ages, turning friends and family to possessed ghouls hell-bent on destroying civilization. It's up to Max and his best friends Reggie and Liz, along with old-school gaming gurus Eugene Wilder and Barton Grabowski, to figure out how to beat the dark forces of the Nether before it's game over for humanity. Featuring a well-known cast, Max Reload and Nether Blaster a love letter to gaming, retro nostalgia, and the wonderfully ridiculous plotlines of 1980s adventure cinema. It's rated NR. It's action-adventure, comedy, science fiction, and fantasy. Directed by Scott Condit, Jeremy Trimp. Written by Scott Condit. It's 101 minutes long by MVD Entertainment Group. It's got Will Wheaton as Arcade Heroes narrator, Lynn Shay as Mrs. Wilder, Greg Grunberg as Eugene Wilder, Joey Morgan as Reggie, Hassie Harrison as Liz, and Tom Plumley as Max Jenkins. And this movie is for rent or buy on Amazon Video, Fandango Now, Google Play, YouTube, Vudu, Apple iTunes, FlixFling, or you can rent it on DirecTV or buy it on Redbox. Alright, that is it for August the 11th, 2020. Enjoy watching those movies. This show is brought to you by Heartland Production Entertainment. If you'd like to help to make the show better, go to patreon.com/heartlandpae.